welcome back to the most unprofessional sports channel on YouTube. Welcome back to Swivel Chair Sports. I'm your host, Zach Zuckerberg Burkle. Goes today, Aaron and Joe. Go say hi, guys.
Oh,
All right, in this video, we'll be doing another edition of our weekly NFL winners and losers. But this time, we're going to actually split it up a little bit this week. Instead of doing them all at once, we're going to do one AFC winners and losers and then one NFC winners and losers video. Hopefully, they're all both going to be put out on the same day or at least one day apart from each other. So be on the lookout for the next one. This should be the first one posted. But other than that, let's just go ahead and get into it.
if you like our content, be sure to like and subscribe, leave a comment, let us know what you think.
All right, so the winner I picked out for this week, as far as the AFC is concerned, I got Anthony Richardson, quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts. Obviously, a couple weeks ago, he got benched for a 40-year-old Joe Flacco, but that only lasted 2 games as Flacco dropped both games to the Vikings and the Bills. So, kind of interesting that you chose to go back to Richardson after Flacco lost to 2 of the best teams in the NFL. But regardless, Richardson bounced back big this week. Ended up helping his team to a 1-point victory over the New York Jets and essentially ending the Jets and Aaron Rodgers season. So that's, everyone that's not a Jets fan in the league is probably pretty happy about that. Richardson also, in the game threw for 272 yards, 1 passing touchdown. Also contributed 32 yards on the ground and picked up another 2 scores that way. But the best part, 67% completion. 20 for 30. There's no interceptions. Possibly the most polished game as far as passing the football we've seen out of Richardson at the NFL level. You can only hope that he, builds off of this going forward. I mean, the Jets are no slouch defensively this year, especially against the pass. So it was interesting to see Anthony Richardson step up and not only lead his team to a victory, but play pretty damn well in his first game back under center. So congrats to Air 5.
He didn't get too tired.
And he did not get too tired.
I have the
number.
AFC West as winners. I don't know that a lot of people would necessarily have predicted them to have 3 legitimate playoff contenders so far. Chiefs are the 1 seed, the Chargers are the 5 seed, and the Broncos are the 7 seed. So they've got 3 teams making the playoffs, and I'm not quite sold on the Broncos quite yet. They've showed some promise, but they don't really have that staple win over a really good team yet. But they're there, they're in the mix, and all the credit to them. But this AFC West, I think, has surprised a lot of people this year.
That's the division that everyone expected a couple years ago when Russ came there.
Mm-hmm.
It was supposed to be those same 3 teams, but now it's happening.
Yeah, I feel like the Chargers' defense has been a lot better this year than I was expecting. So, huge credit to them. Huge credit to the Broncos' offense as well, being way better than I expected. So, those 2 teams looking really good.
My first winner is Chris Boswell. As a Steelers fan, of course, but nonetheless, he was 6 for 6. Single-handedly outscored the Ravens. Part of the winners is the defense, but I wanted to focus on a kicker. You don't get to do that too often, but the guy was 6 for 6. Second time he's done that this year. Third, 4th time in his career. He's done it more than anyone has now in NFL history. 3 of them, I believe, were 3 of the 6 were 50-plus yards. And so, I mean, just why not 6 for 6? I'm not gonna say anything about the playoffs. We'll let that go. But yeah, Chris Boswell, he's done it. He's gotten us 2 wins by himself this season, both with Russ and Justin Fields. So we'll take it. Division win at the top now because of the last killer bee we keep around.
Yeah, I mean,
the Steelers are like the Steelers are like 5-0 over the last 2 or 3 seasons without scoring a touchdown. It's something crazy.
It all started with that Chiefs playoff game back in 2017 or 16. 17? 17. Early 17 technically, but it was the 2016 season.
I think this is the second time doing it to the Ravens alone in his career. I think he's done it before, scoring like 15, and we held him to like 12. It was weird. So
Crazy.
Yeah.
You guys laughed at me last week when I said that they were in the race for the 1 seed.
Yeah, no, it really looks like that could be a
Understand.
possibility now. Them sitting at 8-2, right? And then
I'm trying to stay here, fellas. Trying to maintain level-headedness.
Yeah.
But after that game, I'm up there with Aaron on that idea.
You should definitely be feeling good over there, for you Pittsburgh fans, for sure. We'll be moving on to our losers in the AFC this past week. Kind of tough to find guys that we haven't talked about already, and that was kind of my plan for the week, is try to find anybody that I haven't talked about, at least, one side or the other. And so I kind of settled on temporary Jacksonville Jaguars quarterback Mac Jones. This past week, it was a rough day at the office for the kid. First or second start, I think, this year, second in a row, starting in place of Trevor Lawrence with his shoulder injury right now. Had an opportunity to go out there and prove himself as a starting caliber quarterback in the NFL that he used to be, at least for that one season at the beginning of his career, rookie year, when he made the Pro Bowl. But, this game absolutely floundered. Granted, the O-line's not the best, but he did only get sacked once, so not sure how much blame you can really put on the O-line in this case. Being unable to throw for even 150 yards on 29 attempts, so it's not like he was, barely throwing the ball. He threw the ball damn near 30 times and couldn't even crack 150. Averaged less than 5 yards a attempt, obviously. And didn't even manage to throw a touchdown all game, so on top of not being able to move the ball up and down the field, even whenever, I don't know how often they were probably in scoring range, but anytime they were in scoring range, they couldn't score, settling with just 2 field goals throughout the game, ending with 6 points. All the Jags can really do now is hope that Trevor Lawrence is back after this week's bye. That way they have some sort of semblance of an NFL quarterback under center, I think, because Trevor Lawrence also hasn't been great this year, and they just gave him, league-leading quarterback money. So hopefully he can turn it around if he does come back. Otherwise, I think you might be better off just kind of having him sit out the rest of the season, tanking for a draft pick, and maybe getting some better O-line help up front. Because I don't really think you need the weapons now. You just need the protection at this point. So
Yeah, they're in a bad spot. A real bad spot. Coach potentially on the hot seat.
yeah, probably looking for a new head coach this offseason, I'd imagine.
For my FC loser, I've got the Browns. Just not in a great spot either. They had 443 yards of total offense and only managed to put up 14 points. Jameis Winston played well. He had 395 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, but they just couldn't find the end zone. They went for it on 4th down on their first drive, around the 50-yard line, didn't get it. Gave the Saints the ball back with great field position. They go down and score. A couple possessions later, Cleveland scores a touchdown, has a chance to tie it up at 7-7. Go for the 2-point conversion, don't get it. 2 missed field goals, turned it over on downs twice. So this Cleveland team sort of seems like they're fighting to try and get a win, and it's just not working out. So it's tough.
Probably in the long run, the better case though, because better, more losses the better the draft pick.
Yeah,
they might fuck it up again though. So.
Don't need the draft pick, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, with that, I'm just going to stay in the AFC North for my loser. This loser doesn't mean the season's over for them. So I think this team's going to turn out perfectly fine, but at least for this week, Baltimore is definitely a loser. We can talk about just the one game. It was 12 penalties, 3 turnovers. To make it worse, it was Derrick Henry's first fumble since 2022. Justin Tucker, now second most accurate kicker in NFL history, because after he missed 2 field goals against the Steelers, dropped him to second place. I think he's like 0.2% behind the guy now.
Yeah,
or
but at the
point
rate
zeros.
he's going, it ain't gonna get better, I don't think.
Yeah, exactly. And so, I mean, you have that. They have the failed 2-point conversion where Lamar looks to pass and there's not even a guy open. If anyone even saw the play closely, Isaiah Likely and Nelson Aguilar kind of like Isaiah Likely made him go to a different spot lined up. And then they would look like there was some miscommunication. So, can't have that in a big game, which it almost looks like another big close game for Lamar and the Ravens. They can't pull it out in the end. It is what it is, but still, that was a big game for the division. They still have one more, but the way the Ravens have performed, they've had a lot of close games with the better teams that they've played. So it'll be interesting to see if they can figure it out. Was this just a classic Ravens Steelers game, or has something maybe flipped for them?
Yeah, I definitely think it didn't really show its ugly head in this game per se. It did in some plays, but the Ravens defense is obviously not nearly what they were last year, and I think that could end up coming back to bite them this season. I've said that numerous times throughout the year. But yeah, I definitely think the Steelers, I mean, obviously the Steelers put themselves a leg up on the division now. One more game left to play. Ravens better hope they can win that one. Otherwise, they're probably looking at the wild card spot and a road playoff game to start off. Well, and I guess the rest of the way through, probably. So, unless y'all got anything else, I think that'll do it for this episode of the most unprofessional sports channel on YouTube, Swivel Chair Sports. I've been your host, Zach Circleberg. Merkle here with the host today, Aaron and Joe. Go and say bye, guys.
Bye.
Alright, please make sure to like and subscribe if you made it this far into the video. Be on the lookout for our NFC winners and losers. Should be coming out either later this day or tomorrow. And make sure to drop a comment down below who you thought the biggest winner or loser in the AFC was this past week. But other than that, deuces. Have a good day.